American dollar, Federal Reserve note, and its purchasing power, and what has happened. I'm not going to go into great detail. I have a list of a few things, and just try and prepare and let people know what I see is coming. I mean, it's already happening. Anyone can tell if they go to the grocery store, or they go to buy an item here or there. They can tell from now in 2021, from 2011 to now, from 2001 to now, the tremendous jump in prices. And actually, it's not a jump in prices. It's the fall of the dollar. It is the purchasing power that the dollar has, the Federal Reserve note has. It's the fall of that, the currency that we are forced to use for our exchange for goods and services. Anyways, because with all this printing, the $1.9 trillion stimulus that was just passed, and the many more that were before that, it's not really printing money anymore because they don't print a lot of money. They just make digits. So what that does, it has this stuff that you and I hold in banks, hold in your wallets, hold in your savings accounts, hold in your 401k, IRAs, hold anywhere, worth that much less purchasing power it has. You might not feel it tomorrow if they did the big thing yesterday, the stimulus that they call it. I like to call it the stimulus. The stimulus, all that means to me is that's how much more they're going to steal from you and I. They got some fancy, funky names they're going to put to it, something that feel good. Save the puppies day, save the puppies stimulus, make babies happy, save grandma, save grandpa's stimulus. And then what they do is they give crumbs and they rip and steal and do more than that to you and I and our grandchildren and our children and our children's grandchildren. It's just what it does. We don't feel it right away. You feel it, but not right away and not to the amount it should be felt. Because if you did, people would react. I mean, like tomorrow, there'd be riots in the street because of how much is being stolen from you and I as far as our purchasing power and how much the value the currency has that we're forced to use for our commerce and for taxes and everything else. But I just got a list of a few things I just want to name off. So these are from 1971. 1971, August 15th, 1971 was the last time the dollar or the Federal Reserve note or our currency that we're forced to use was attached to anything of real value. And that was the last window we had of the dollar attached to gold. So that was sort of keeping things in line. I mean, they couldn't just keep printing and keep making these digits as much as they wanted, as much as they feel like they are today. And they did last year and the year prior. They couldn't do that because it was tied to the dollar. The dollar stopped them and put some sort of regulation or some sort of ceiling on it. Say it's not going to happen because it's tied to gold. So with it being tied to gold, that's what's stopping it. So that was August 15, 1971 that Nixon temporarily took the dollar off the gold standard. Temporarily, that was 71, and you're saying, well, temporarily, it should be back. No. Anything that is temporary from the government is one of the most permanent things that you will ever experience in your life, and I will experience in my life. Temporary from the government pretty much means permanent. And even worse, like never going back. So, 1971, a new house, these are all average-based, medium-based. A new house cost $25,200. That was 1971. Today, 2021, average new house cost $340,000. So that's $25,000, $340,000. So what's the difference there? What happened in the span of years? 71, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. What happened? You didn't do anything different, probably. You worked, you saved, you paid your taxes. I didn't do anything different. I worked, I saved, I paid my taxes. Your parents probably didn't do anything different. Their parents probably didn't do much different. But what happened? This thing that we're forced to use for our commerce, that they say we have to use, it lost value. Because the wood is not any different wood that the houses are made of. The metal's not any different metal that the houses are made of. The land's not any different land than the houses are put on in 71 to 2001. All that stuff is the same. The difference is how much it costs in currency, how much it costs in the Federal Reserve note, the US dollar. Why? Because that's been stolen from you and I. They've stole it from you and I. They stole the purchasing power. They stole that. 71, think about this, 71 and before, even a little after 71, the standard was there was one person working at home, one person. The other person, usually the wife, the mom, stayed at home. She didn't have to work. She didn't need two income households and took care of the children. That was it. That was the standard. Today, we have two people working around the clock. I mean, it seems like more than 4 hours a week. And sometimes their children are and contributing to the household. Why is that? The food's no better or different. The cars are basically the same. I mean, but technology really doesn't cost that much. Nothing's really different except how much value, purchasing power, the currency is that you and I are forced to use, to spend on what we need to do for commerce, our buying, our goods and services. That's the only difference, is it was stolen from you and I. Not stolen, I mean, right in front of our faces. It was stolen sneakily, and I should say very cleverly. And then you're taught that inflation is normal and we need inflation. So you're taught that what they're doing, you need this. We need this to survive. We need our purchasing power being stolen from us. That's what we're taught in school. And that's what you're taught all over on the news. It's a good thing. Well, these numbers tell you it absolutely is not a good thing. It's not a good thing that two people have to work around the clock. And if you have 2 children, you have 4 children, 5 children, it doesn't matter. Back then, there's a one person working in the home. That was the standard. And it made for a happier home. And they had the same size houses for the most part. They had the same vehicles they needed. It was pretty much the same, except how much things cost. So I drew that out a little bit. I don't mean to. I'm trying to shorten this. A new car, 71, was $3,560. $3,560. 71. 2021, your average new car is $40,573. Tuition to Harvard University, 1 year, $2,600 in 71. 2021, 1 year, average, $50,000 to Harvard. Movie ticket, in 71 was $1.50. Movie ticket, average movie ticket in 2021, $10.14. Gasoline in 71 was 40 cents per gallon. 2021, $2.89 per gallon. And gasoline's a little different because there's a lot of stuff that changes with there and manipulation. United States Postal Stamp, just a stamp to send a first class letter. In 71 is 8 cents. 2021 it's 55 cents. How about food? Food, granulated sugar, just your standard sugar, was 62 cents for a 5-pound bag, 5 pounds worth. And 2021, $3.39 for the same size 5-pound bag of sugar, regular sugar. Your standard cow's milk, $1.17 per gallon in 1971. Today, $4.05 per gallon on average. We have bacon. 1971, bacon was 80 cents per pound. 2021, bacon is $5.83 per pound on average. Eggs. Eggs aren't the huge jump, but they still went up. Eggs, 1971 were 45 cents per dozen. Today, on average, they're $1.45 per dozen. And then you have ground hamburger. In 71, that was 62 cents per pound. In 2021, this year, on average, it's $4.23 per pound. And lastly, bread. A loaf of bread, 25 cents, a quarter per loaf. 25 cents per loaf of bread. Today, that is $2.44 per loaf. 2021, $2.44 per loaf. So I'm saying this because this isn't normal. I mean, they've tried to standardize it and make people feel like it's normal. Oh, I remember back when there was nickel candy. I remember back when it was quarter pop in the machine or 50 cents in the machine for a soda. That's just, you reminisce and you think back. Well, things were cheaper then, and it's normal. They normalized it. It's not normal. It's been stolen from you and I, and they continue to do it. And they're doing it faster now with all this printing and all this, creating digits. We're going to hit hyperinflation, is my fear. And I feel it's already starting, it's bubbling. Like if you're boiling water on the stove, you know when it's going to boil. You can see it. It's not the same as it was when you first put the water in that canister or that pot you put on the stove. It's not the same. It acts differently, and you know something's going to happen. You can tell it's there because something with the atoms, all that kind of stuff with the heat, something's happening. You can tell that it's going to boil, and that's what it feels like right now. We're right there on the cusp that things are not the same. You got to do something. You have a small window, I feel. You got to do something. And I've always said, assets are your best bet. It's at least my opinion. It's my best bet. Gold, silver are the easiest things. Nowadays, it's not so easy to get silver and gold for cheaper. They're still clearance, in my opinion. They're still on clearance. Still the cheapest they've ever been, and they're ever going to be. It's just my opinion. But the markups are tremendous because of how much they're sought after now and how much people are buying silver and gold. Silver especially now. But holding an asset will preserve your wealth, preserve your purchasing power. So we got the precious metals, gold, silver, even platinum, land, as always. Just anything that's going to hold value that someone would need to create something, someone would want later on. So think about that. I know I hound this, but I feel like we're right at that boiling point. But anyways, thanks for watching. As always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, and protect your wealth.